ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। ओम धर्मः प्रोज्झितकैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनं। श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिस्तत्क्षणात्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। समस्त देवताभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराण आचार्येभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री परब्रह्मणे महाविष्णवे ब्रह्मणे सनकादिमुनिभ्यो नारदाय वेदव्यासाय शुकब्रह्मर्षे सूतमहामुनये शौनकादिऋषिभ्यो अत्र्यादिऋषिभ्यो प्रह्लादादिभक्तजनेभ्यो आदित्यादिनवग्रहदेवताभ्यो श्रीदक्षिणामूर्ति दत्तात्रेय हयग्रीवादिगुरुभ्यो मत्स्यादिवतारेभ्यो मातापितृदेवताभ्यो आद्यशङ्कराचार्यवर्यादिगुरुभ्यो आदिवराशक्तिमात्रे नमो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमो नमः। ओम श्री कृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादश स्कन्धः मुक्तिर्हित्वान्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। अथ षड्विंशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच मल्लक्षणमिमं कायं लब्ध्वा मद्धर्म आस्थितः आनन्दं परमात्मानम् आत्मस्थं समुपैति मां गुणमय्या जीवयोन्या विमुक्तो ज्ञाननिष्ठया गुणेषु मायामात्रेषु दृश्यमानेष्वस्तुतः वर्तमानोऽपि स न पुमान् युज्यते वस्तुभिर्गुणैः सङ्गं न कुर्याद् सतां शिष्णोदरतृपां क्वचिदो तस्यानुगः तमस्यन्धे पतत्यन्धानुगान्धवत् ऐळः सम्राडिमां गाथाम् अगायत बृहत्श्रवाः ऊर्वशी विरहान् मुह्यन् निर्विण्णः शोकसंयमे त्यक्त्वात्मानं व्रजन्तीं तां नग्न उन्मत्तवत् नृपः विलपन् अन्वगात् जाये घोरे तिष्ठेति विक्लवः कामान् अतृप्तोऽनुजुषन् क्षुल्लकान् वर्षयामिनीः न वेदयान्ति यर्नायान्ति ऊर्वश्या कृष्टचेतनः। ऐळ उवाच अहो मे मोहविस्तारः कामकश्मलचेतसः देव्या गृहीतकण्ठस्य न आयुः खण्डा इमे स्मृताः नाहं वेदाभिनिर्मुक्तः सूर्यो वाभ्युदितो मुया मुषितो वर्षपूगानां वतः निगतान्युत अहो मे आत्मसम्मोहः येनात्मा योषितां कृतः क्रीडामृगश्चक्रवर्ती नरदेवशिखामणिः सपरिच्छदमात्मानं हित्वा तृणम् इव ईश्वरं यान्तीं स्त्रियं चान्वगमं नग्न उन्मत्तवत् रुदन् कुतस्तस्यानुभावः स्यात् तेज ईशत्वमेव वा योऽन्वगच्छं स्त्रियं यान्तीं खरवत्पादताडितः किं विद्यया किं तपसा किं त्यागेन श्रुतेन वा किं विविक्तेन मौनेन स्त्रीवीर्यस्य मनोहृतं स्वार्थस्याकोविदं धिङ्मां मूर्खं पण्डितमानिनं योऽमीश्वरतां प्राप्य स्त्रीभिर्गोखरवज्जितः सेवतो वर्षपूगान्मे ऊर्वश्या अदरासवं न तृप्यत्यात्मभूः कामः वह्निराहुतिभिर्यथा पुंशल्यापहृतं चित्तं कोऽन्वन्यो मोचितुं प्रभुः आत्मा रामेश्वरम् अरुते भगवन्तम् अधोक्षजं बोधितस्यापि देव्या मे सूक्तवाक्येन दुर्मतेः मनोगतो महामोहः नापयति अजितात्मनः इमे तया नोपकृतं रज्वा वा सर्पचेतसः रज्जुः स्वरूपा विदुषः योऽहं यद् अजितेन्द्रियः क्वायं मलीमसः कायः दौर्गन्ध्याध्यात्मको शुचिः क्व गुणाः सौमनस्याद्याः यध्यासो विद्यया कृतः पित्रोः किं स्वनुभार्यायाः स्वामिनोऽग्नेष्वगृध्रयोः किमात्मनः किं सुहृदाम इति यो नावसीयते तस्मिन् कळेबरे मेध्ये तुच्छनिष्ठे विसज्जते अहो सुभद्रं सुनसं सुस्मितं च मुखं स्त्रियाः त्वं मां सरुधिरस्नायु मेदो मज्जास्ति संहतौ विण्मोत्रपोये रमतां कृमीणां कियदन्तरम् अथापि नोपसज्जेत स्त्रीषु स्त्रैणेषु चार्थविदौ विषयेन्द्रियसंयोगात् मनः क्षुभ्यति नान्यथा अदृष्टादश्रुताद्भावाद् न भाव उपजायते असंप्रयुञ्जतः प्राणान् शाम्यति स्थिमितं मनः तस्मात् संगो न कर्तव्यः स्त्रीषु स्त्रैणेषु चेन्द्रियैः विदुषां चाप्यविस्रब्धः षड्वर्गः किमुमादृशाम् श्रीभगवानुवाच एवं प्रगायन् नृपदेवदेवः स ऊर्वशी लोकमथो विहाय आत्मानमात्मन्यवगम्य मां वै उपारमज्ञानविधूतमोहः ततो दुःसङ्गमुत्सृज्य सत्सु सज्जेत बुद्धिमान् सन्त एतस्य चिन्तन्ति मनोव्यासङ्गमुक्तिभिः सन्तोऽनपेक्षामच्चित्ताः प्रशान्ताः समदर्शिनः निर्ममा निरहङ्काराः निर्द्वन्द्वा निष्परिग्रहाः तेषु नित्यं महाभागेषु मत्कृताः सम्भवन्ति हितान् नॄणां जुषतां प्रपुनन्त्यघं ताये शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति ह्यनुमोदन्ति चाधृताः मत्पराः श्रद्धानाश्च भक्तिं विन्दन्ति ते मयि भक्तिं लब्धवतः साधोः किमन्यदवशिष्यते मयि अनन्तगुणे ब्रह्मणि आनन्दानुभवात्मने यथोपश्रयमाणस्य भगवन्तं विभावसुं शीतं भयं तमोप्येति साधून् संसेवतस्तथा निमज्जोन्मज्जतां घोरे भवाब्धौ परमायनं सन्तो ब्रह्मविदः शान्ताः नौर्दृढे वाप्सु मज्जताम् अन्नं हि प्राणिनां प्राणः आर्तानां शरणं त्वहं धर्मो वित्तं नृणां प्रेत्य सन्तोर्वाग्बिभ्यतोरणं सन्तो दिशन्ति चक्षुंषि बहिरर्कः समुत्थितः देवता बान्धवाः सन्तः सन्त आत्माहमेव च वैतसेनस्ततोऽप्येवम् ऊर्वश्यालोकनिस्पृहः मुक्तसङ्गो महीमेधाम् आत्मा रामश्चचारः इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायाम् एकादशस्कन्धे ऐलोपाख्यानं नाम षड्विंशोऽध्यायः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ओम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीभागवत शरणं मम श्रीसद्गुरु शरणं मम श्रीसूत शरणं मम श्रीशुकदेव शरणं मम श्रीभागवत शरणं मम श्रीसद्गुरु शरणं मम श्रीव्यास शरणं मम श्रीनारद शरणं मम श्रीकुमार शरणं मम श्रीब्रह्मा शरणं मम श्रीविष्णु शरणं मम श्रीपरब्रह्म शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम शरणं मम शरणं मम। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव ॐ मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं स्वर्गे सत्ये च कैलासे वैकुण्ठे नास्ति अमृत अदपि बन्धु सद्भाग्याः मामुञ्चदकर्हिचित् यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेदमपेदकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तर्वोऽभिनेदुः तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि यस्वानुभावमखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम् अध्यात्मदीपमतिथितीर्षतां तमोन्धं संसारिणां करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यं तं व्याससूनुमुपयामि गुरुं मुनीनाम् ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ श्रीकृष्णपरब्रह्मणे नमः श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादशस्कन्धः मुक्तिर्हित्वान्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः अथ षड्विंशोऽध्यायः ऐलोपाख्यानमैलगीतं श्रीभगवानुवाच. Just like how much ever the amount of medicine is taken, if it doesn't reach the point or the spot of disease in the body, the medicine of no effect and the disease is never cured. We never become healthy in the same way. How much ever the Shastras, Satsanga we listen, which is a medicine, if it doesn't reach to the point or the spot where we have disease, all this medicine becomes ineffective waste and our disease continues to be. Where is the disease? The disease of ours, the Bhavaroga. It is not in the ears. It is less in the intellect. It is not so much in the mind. All our disease is in our own heart. Therefore, the Rishi Muni Guru Devata Parampara, whose names we have taken now, whom we have saluted now, let all of us deeply, intensely pray to all those Rishis, Munis, Gurus, Devatas, the Bhagavata Acharyas, the Brahma Vidya Acharyas, the our own Rishi Muni Guru Gotra Devata Parampara, our own Guru Parampara. Let us pray to them that this medicine which they are giving us, the opportunity of listening Shastra entire day, let this medicine reach to the core of our heart, where the disease bhava is there in the form of avidya as well as the vasanas, because of which the adhyaropa is happening on the adhisthana. May to that core level this knowledge named medicine reach and remove the disease from the root level, so that we don't have any even iota and trace of doubt regarding the spiritual perfection to be the only way of moksha. And thus, other than pursuing the mukti marg of spiritual sadhana, no thing should come to our mind or heart even once. To that extent, may we be cured in our goal, in our means, in our sadhana, in our total dedication of the lifespan. If that doesn't happen, we may listen so many satsangas, but from the heart level, if we don't change, we continue to be the dukhi atma in the samsara. May this not happen. Even if it had happened in the past, past is gone, let it go. But then now we also deeply, intensely get convinced and try our best to take this knowledge to our own heart at the very moment while we listen, even after the class. We also pray to the devatas, to the gurus, that Shrutam me gopaya, that let this ignorance be totally eliminated. So, medhaya spranoto smritam me gopaya, may this knowledge remove the bhavaroga once for all from our heart. So, having said so, we are now into the just 5-6 more chapters, 11th skandha, then we have the 12th one, another enchanting one. So, in these 25 chapters are done. 25th was so elaborate, exhaustive, telling us every aspect of the Prakriti, the Maya of Paramatma in its threefold expression called three gunas. We have studied that. Now, in this 26th chapter, what is sadhana, siddhi, and what is the lakshana of the siddha purusha, and what actually is the samsara bandhana, all that is told to us by Lord Krishna through Uddhava in the first three shlokas. Then, in this 26th chapter, from the fourth shloka, for 6, 7, 8 shlokas, Bhagavan explains to us where do we get bound, how do we get bound, also where to start our sadhana, more so, what exactly is the sadhana. To convey that to us, undoubtedly, Bhagavan takes up the great, beautiful story of the Ila Putra Aila Pururava Raja. And what happened to Pururava? Bhagavan Krishna tells in few slokas. Then Pururava's song itself, Bhagavan sings for Uddhava and all of us, which comprises the 20-25 slokas of this chapter, in which he this is what is the contemplation to be done by every genius, sincere person who is totally submerged in the problem and wants to come out of that problem safe. This situation of Pururava, there is exactly like the 7 days back, 6 days back. In some of the place, the boy fell into borewell, 11 years old, 80 feet below. Pururava is like that, totally, almost dead only. And at that same spot, there was a snake as well as a mendak also. 104 hours, the boy was how survived, God knows. But the NDRF army, everybody tried. Finally, they saved that child. And in the case of Pururava, through this song, he saved himself. Therefore, it's a song of saving. If it is not done, the boy would have died out of no food or no water, no oxygen, everything. I just remember that example. Many of us, we die. Every life we die when we get sunk into that borewell sort of situation, which we ourselves invoke. Every life we invoke. And here, Pururava also might have got invoked such problem of deep level in every life. In every life, he might have died only, suffocated. But in this life, he became successful in not dying and saving himself. And how he saved himself is with the deep contemplation of taking everything into consideration and account, what exactly happening within me, exactly happening around me, exactly happening about me, exactly happening to me with the situations around. Where is the mistake? And what was said in the 2 3 chapters before, Manaha Param Karanamamananti, all that he practically realizes. And with later on, in the beginning, he starts with blaming the situation and people around. Later on, he realizes so pakka, the greatest beautiful wisdom, that no thing and being around is the cause or problem, cause for our own problem or difficulty. It is we or me only. And therefore, solution also can be or should be found by me, and it is nowhere, it is within. And what is that inner solution which he discovered, out of which he came out of that problem, not only for this life once, but once for all. Such a beautiful story, I tell you. Just and the explanation given by him, the examples, it is mind blowing. I tell you, I can explain to you 0.5% only. May God bless you and me to understand the remaining 99.5%. That much completeness, clarity is there in this portion. And to add to that, Sunepe Suhaga, Bhagavan, having narrated this story to Uddhava, from his side, he gives the actual pakka final solution. See, the patient is in very direct situation of severe heart attack. He's taken into the ICU. Then luckily the doctors have saved his life. But that is not enough. He is to be taken to the center rehabilitation and he should be brought to full normalcy. Lord Krishna's thinking thoughts about the greatness of Santa, Greatness of satsang is like going to rehabilitation center and coming back with 1,000 times better than when we went to the hospital. We are liberated, realized only. And that portion of Santa Mahima, Satsanga Mahima again is unparalleled. So great. They look to be small little shlokas. But then in that, everything which we need, which we want, is hidden. The only thing is our ability. And our foolishness always is we go to the marketplaces where the best thing is available, yet we purchase the worst one. So too, we are with the best of the study of Bhagavad Purana taught by Krishna himself. And yet, if we are not able to catch the beautiful things, we are at a very gross, low level of intellect or intention or purity or efforts. May with pure, intense, deep efforts catch each and every gems of wisdom that are freely given to us through the entire Shastra, especially Bhagavad Shastra, in the also 11th Skanda, in that also this 26th chapter, in both portions of Pururava Upakhyanam as well as Krishna's Upadesha about Sant and Satsanga Mahima. In fact, there are four topics in this. First topic is the Bandha Lakshana, Bandha Karana, Mukti Sadhana, and Mukta Lakshana that we saw last 2 days. Then sadhana, upakrama, we can see in the next 7 slokas. Then while telling all that, then with the upamana udaharana, exhaustively explained. This is the third portion. The fourth portion, we can see the exclusive sadhana. Nothing else in life now. Then imagine those great sadhakas in those Himalayan terrains, in those great places like Kashi, etc., where there are no any other botheration than sustaining themselves, protecting themselves from all the death of disease and all, remaining entire time, no other thought but worshipping Mother Ganga or Kashi Vishwanatha or studying the Shastra to know truth. That becomes our nature and quality if we study that last portion of Krishna, the teachings given by Krishna. Remember, only when we become that way, totally single pointedly dedicated for the truth, that the subtlety will not come to us and you cannot recognize the truth. That is why that medhaya pihitaha, every day we are studying, let not the medas of the laukika parigyanam cover the medas of Paramatma to be the mukti, and the sadhana is adhyatmikata, and the alambana is om, according to morning class. With this introduction, let us come to straight away the verse number 3, where Bhagavan starts the Upakrama. He gives us first the statement of facts. What to do, what not to do. Then he will explain. Here, then he will explain the thesis with the example. And the comparison or the complementation between this portion and the next portion is here only. Here he says, never do the Sangha with Asattu. And there we will say, never give up even for a moment the Sangha with Satu. See the complementing of these two topics? Dussanga destroys us, the Satsanga evolves us or liberates us. Now it is your choice. You can never blame that the world is full of negative all. No, in the world is positive also. अब जो चीज़ आपको अच्छा लगता है, आप चाहते हो, तो हज़ारों मील दूर है तो भी जाकर ले आते हो कि नहीं, या जाते हो कि नहीं वहाँ? Is it not? In the same way, if you really are convinced to become mukta and if you are convinced about the process or sadhana to be satsanga, how much ever far off or difficult, you will fetch that satsanga. Either you get it to yourself or you get there. It is available. Don't say the world is so bad, I can't do sadhana. World is ever like this. With the people, with their mentality, with the opportunity for liberation, with the temptation for bondage. Every time. Every time. The ways means may be different. The eatables are different at this time and Satya Yuga. But both times they were there to tempt. The gurus are different in this time and that time in their way of teaching. But the guru and teaching tattva was same that time and this time. Is it not? The human being, right from beginning of creation till now, are with the same upadhis, which have their own limitations, which have their own attraction for the objects of the world. Same. There's no difference. Therefore, at that time or this time, whoever have become wise, have that Viveka Vairagya and sought the path for moksha, they got it. Obviously, those who have never had that Viveka Vairagya, never tried for mukti, they were always bound. Therefore, no more we are in that imagination that good times come. Is it not? What time is there? That itself is good. Good situations will come, good convenience will come. ऐसा नहीं होता. जो है वही सबसे good best है. That thought itself is a maya which never allows us to make use of the opportunities in the present, which alone help us to evolve. And we procrastinate postpone our sadhana for future, which has become a habit. अब भोग बाद में योग, which is the maya of the mana. It goes on doing that. And what is a single simple step of technique of conquering the mind? Only this much. First yoga, ab yoga, baad mein bhoga. Yoga means till the final moment. I will pursue only yoga. And the beauty of it is what? In the path of reaching to the yoga ultimate sthiti itself, you are so blissful that entire bhoga kamana, which was there earlier, will be found to be such a wretched, useless, binding thing, and we feel so regretted, guilty that why did we involve in that for so many lives? So never ever blame the situations, never ever justify or procrastinate, never ever imagine that something will happen in the future, then I will do sadhana. Whether it is in future or present, nothing will happen by itself. That alone will happen which we do. वही होता है जो हम करते हैं, उसके बाद जो मंजूर है भगवान होता है. पहले जो खुद कर रहे हो करो. जो खुद को करना है करो, तभी खुदा भगवान को छोड़ सकते. Interesting. Now, what is the beginning? What is not to be done? Sangam na kuryad sadam shishno daratrupam kvachito tasyanugahatamasi andhe patati andhanugandhavatu. So, first sentence is statement of fact. Okay, and statement of, so let us say it is an advice by the Lord, it is the guidance by the Lord, it is the suggestion by the Lord, it is the upadesha by the Lord. In fact, it is a, though it is nakuriyat karke Bhagavan option there, it is an order from the Lord. A complete beautiful sentence. Sangam na kuryat asatam. And we have to do it, as I said, not night 11 to morning 5, every moment. Only one time we are allowed to do the dussanga. What is that? When you die. After the death. Not till the death. That is what is the commitment sought, expected for a sadhaka, for his own self. And we explained this yesterday, if you remember. 10,000 years you may have satsanga. That is not at all a means for realization. Means not the complete protection. Even after 10,000 years of satsanga, after that 10 seconds dussanga is enough to fall down from where we started. Okay, we gave so many examples of so many things that are there in the Shastra. Then, therefore, yesterday, as a conclusion to this point, what thought we gave was many a times, do more than doing sadhana, avoiding the non-positive is more important. सत्संग की बात बाद में, पहले दुस्संग को छोड़ो. नहीं छोड़ो तो सत्संग में जाकर भी मन दुस्संग में ही रहेगा. सत्संग को भी बाद में इतना करें, जब मजबूरन कोई दुस्संग में भी रहे तो मन में सत्संग ही रहना है. You know, if in our mind, being in the class called as satsanga, in our mind is there only bhoga of the world is there, then we are more strong dussangi. We have the sangha with asat. On the other hand, when you are in the world, a club, a party, out of some compulsion, yet you remember our own Jnanam, Upadesham, Satsang, yeah, then you are something genius. Interesting. That's what we have to be committed to mold. That commitment should come from within, practice should come from within, achievement should happen within. From outside, the Guru and God only can give an advice and try to push us inside. He is giving the advice, he is pushing us inside. Sangam na kuryat asata. And what is asatsanga? Yesterday we explained very clearly without doubt any involvement with thought, word, or deed where Paramatma is not the theme, that all is asatsanga. This is a clear, complete definition, after which you will not have doubt. Kaya, vacha, manasa, whatever action we do, if in that the theme is not Sat or Paramatma, then everything else is Asat only. If the theme is not Bhagavan. Because Bhagavan alone is Sat. Therefore, Sangha with Bhagavan alone is Sat Sangha. Then the Sangha with anything other than Bhagavan is Asat. Therefore, anything other than Bhagavan, if that is a theme, this is Asat Sangha or Dussanga. Okay? This is the clarity of definition. There are no alternatives in this. There cannot be alterations of this definition. You cannot improve it upon. You cannot have lower definition than this. So if I am talking to you 2 minutes, if in that the theme is not Bhagavan, I have done Asatsanga only with you. You also have done the same with me. And then unknowingly, it leads to its own way of creating the vasanas in me and you, which show their effect in the future. When they crop up, then we are surprised. अरे मैं तो सोचा ही नहीं था ये सारे थॉट्स कैसे आ रहे हैं when I'm sitting for meditation or study. बेटा जी आप सोचे नहीं थे, लेकिन आप जिसमें इन्वॉल्व हुए थे वो धीरे वासनाएं बन गए अंदर. Therefore, a ruthless, without compromise, we have to give up all the asat and do only the sat. This you do it today or after million lives. This is the final. There's no alternative in that. Because little involved in asat, it proves the entire world to be real. So clear? All the possible explanations to be given are given. Now, what is the asat? As we said, everything other than Paramatma, the most predominant of them are given here. Then, when you conquer these, all else remains conquered. Then, Shishnodara Jayodhrutihi, Jitam Sarvam Jite Rase. These slokas we have already studied in earlier chapters of very much Bhagavad. Therefore, who are the Asat Purushas? Shishna Udara Trupa, who are finding or trying to find Trupa or the Trupti in Shishna and Udara. Now, the trick of Bhagavan using these two are what? The temptation in mind is what? Temptation and misunderstanding, you say, is that with Shishna and Udara Trupti, I'll become Trupta. You know, when the Udara Trupti is done, I'll become Trupta. When the Shishna Trupti comes, I become Trupta. This is how the temptation always will be in the mind. It's a seeming positive, strong suggestion. एक बार ये मिल जाए तो मैं तृप्त हो जाऊंगा, ऐसा होता है मन में इन दोनों के प्रति. With that, the being starts indulging in these two. And the most funniest aspect in these two is what? In the world, anything, everything else may give us trupti, but these do never give trupti. मतलब क्या हुआ? सब छोड़ूंगा मैं, ये दो नहीं छोड़ूंगा. ये दो पाने के बाद इनको भी छोड़ दूंगा. Listen carefully. With this thought, the man involves in these two without knowing the fact that these two never end. The thought remains same. I'll be satisfied in these two. Then I will give up everything. Then I will go for spirituality. That's how we think. But these two never get satisfied. Just like that in the shop, the man वहाँ लिखता है very intelligently. आज नगद कल उधार. Is it not? Today cash, tomorrow the credit. Is it not? Now this man thinks, the one who studied, Acha, tomorrow if I come, I think he'll give udhar. And today I have to pay money. I don't have money. Kal I'll come. When he comes tomorrow, he says, महाराज आपने कहा कल उधार देंगे, आ गया हूँ, फिर से पढ़ो, क्या लिखा है उधर? आज नगद कल उधार, टुडे कैश टुमारो क्रेडिट. No, any number of times you come, sentence remains same. In the same way, every time we seek trupti for through the Shishna and Udara, in the world anything can end, but these two never. Therefore, they too never end, and our condition is I will end pursuing them through involving in them. See, I will involve in them, then I'll get trupti, then I will give it up. Therefore, I am involving. But they are never giving the trupti. Again, I involve. Again, I involve. In this way, day by day, month by month, year by year, life by life, we are getting cheated. More than anything in the world is by these two. Therefore, Bhagavan specifically mentioned these two. And both of them, the udara food is required for survival. It becomes such a justification that kaise जीव मैं बिना खाए. That's the beginning. The moment you start eating, then all the variety of desires for eating start coming up. And then, like we justified eating, we justify any type of eating. In fact, we justify as if the life is only for eating. That's what made Parikshit do that mistake. And that's how he said Prayopavesha. So to that Shunaka, Prayopavesha in Ramayana. Are you catching? Are you connecting it? The other thing is called Shishnam. That also, for the progeny's sake, Bhagavan gave that Arja. Then the inside Arja, without the progeny, Shastra itself says, Upanishad ने कहा हमको, प्रश्न ने हमने पढ़ा, every couple should give one baby boy and girl to the society. शादी के बाद एक संतान दो को देना ही पड़ेगा. So that becomes justification. Then one involves in that. Then that justification goes on to such a level that there is no end to it. Be attentive. Because the urges of these two become more, we try to involve in them more. The vasanas regarding them become so many. Be attentive. Because of which, after dying, because of so many of these two asanas, so much strongness of these two asanas, we are sent to those yonis, those dehas, wherein fulfilling these two alone become the means or the purpose of life. Means what? This opportunity as a human being, where I can think, I can understand, I can discriminate, I can evolve or rise above these two, even these opportunities also will never be there when we are sent into those yonis. And all those are pashus. In the pashu yoni, other than Shishna Udara, there is no third thought of anything other than these two of the world also. Then what to talk about spiritual? Then who is in that pashu yoni? The jiva only. With all his strongest samskaras only of Shishna Udara, 100%, not even a little thought that I am a jiva, I am not the dehadi, the Shishna Udara, the for pashu sake, not for me, now I am involving, I have to discover myself. इन्हीं कुत्ता गधा भैंस जो दुनिया है क्या उनको थॉट आता है? To that yoni we are sent, wherein even these opportunities are not there like that of a human. That is why Bhagavan Tasma Dehamimam Prapya, what he said in the earlier third chapter of 33, here also in the first shloka, Mal Lakshanamimam Kayam Labdva. The reason behind these two is this one. Even one goes to the Devata Yoni, there only the Bhoga Pradhana is there, Shishna Udara only. And there are more justifications because we have done the punya for only this, and the entire world around them is of that type only. And there are not like on the earth the smashanas, the hospitals, where the people's suffering can be seen and little vairagya can be gained. वो नहीं होता वहाँ. पढ़ाने के लिए गुरु नहीं होता है, दुखी होने के लिए स्मशान हॉस्पिटल नहीं होता है, रोकने ठोकने वाले होते कोई नहीं. खुद का जस्टिफिकेशन है कि मैं पुण्य करके आया हूँ और चारों तरफ सेम ब्रांड पीपल आर देयर. It's like America. In a American high life society of all casinos and all All are like that only. Everything freely available. Lot of wells are there. Nobody to rock talk. Then do you think they have even an idea, iota also of a Tattvabodha, Atmabodha, Vivek, Chudamani, Upanishad, Bhagavat? Remember how far they are from these. They are means those jivas. Those jivas means those jivas with that type of samskara in them. It didn't happen to them suddenly. They have developed like that. Now, those who have evolved from that have become Indians, Hindus, Sanatan Dharmis, coming to gurus, listening to the Shastra. So it's a progress, it's an evolution. Then should we go back or go ahead? Always remember to go ahead, a continuous, constant struggle effort we have to go on putting and to pull us back. The continuous, constant temptations or the troubles and problems by the Maya, by the Kala, by the society, by the earlier samskaras, by the earlier tastes, by the earlier habits, by the people around us, by our prarabdha, it goes on happening. वो सब मिलकर पीछे खींचना कोशिश करते हैं और खुद को मेहनत करके आगे बढ़ना पड़ता है. यू कैन नेवर, nobody can avoid this. The secret silent inner struggle every saint went through, after which alone he became that saint or sage. It's not new to anyone, and it's no avoidability for anyone. Everyone will have to go through same struggle. Nobody became army officer just like that straight away. Everybody went through all the exams, tests, trainings. After that only. कोई अल्टरनेटिव या कोई शॉर्टकट्स नहीं होते इसमें. Why all these things are added? Only to tell us. Let us also not look for any alternative. Let us be convinced about the straight path, walk in that and reach only. There is no other alternative. Sangam na kuryad asatam shishnodara trupam. And more important than all these words is the last word, kwachitu. These negative things are having their own effect of a snowball effect, it is called. Snowball effect. What is snowball effect? From the top of the snow-clad mountain, little small snow falls. इतना ही होता है वो. As it is coming down, it goes on gathering the snow to it because of its force of coming, and the other thing is sticking to it. This much start वाला जो start हुआ ऊपर से, you remember नीचे आते 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 it goes on growing in its size. It becomes so big a powerful thing that नीचे एक बड़ा mountain boulder भी है, उसको धक्का देगा वो. इतना तो शुरू में. But as it was coming, it going on becoming bigger, bigger. That is called snowball effect. These all negativities, little chance if it is given, they start becoming so bigger that we cannot. It's a depression happening at a small place in the ocean. Slowly, how it gathers all the strength to become a tufan, to break all the shores and whatever there. Is it not? Snowball effect. The snowball effect is more beautifully said in the Narada Bhakti Sutra. Beautiful. That mantra, I don't remember both completely, but I just say this much. What is that? Kama krodadikam sarvada tyajyam. Having said so, he says the sentence is Tarangaita api me sangat samudrayanti. Though they start like a small ripple, little ripple only, these negative qualities, if you give chance little to them, slowly that which was like a small taranga, it becomes as big as a samudra. तरंगा ऐसा करके आप धक्का दे सकते हो. But it is samudra. There is no way other than submerging in that. You can't come out of it. Let it be a Titanic, let it be MH370. किधर गिरे, कितने करोड़ों खर्च किया, पता ही नहीं कहाँ है वो. Once that becomes a samudra type, nothing but submerging in that, जहाँ नामो निशान नहीं रहेगा, that we are a sadhaka. That is why kwachitu. Now here one very powerful thought, whether you like it or not, whether you understand or not, what every one of us are keeping away from the Shishnodara or all other negativities. There's no doubt about it. But how many times we kept away is not at all the criteria. then completely kept away. There is no compromise. That's what kvachito. Kvachit bhi nahi. That's how the diabetic patients, when they see the reading so much, suddenly they follow all those disciplines, etc., to prove to the doctor कि 300 से मैंने 130-40 लाख लाया. And by the time doctor sees and reduce the medication and all, he feels so happy. दम जाने में फिर से शुरू करता है वो सारा चीज खाना. Now it goes to 300, 400. Is it not? What is the order there? Once you got that you have a disease, you should not stop sweets, etc., only to reduce and prove to me or you. It is not you to prove to yourself, or it's not you prove to me. It is not you are proving to the diabetologist that you have control. Arre Maharaj, it is for your body, for you to save your body. And then what is the saving? That which you did to control the sugar to this level should be continued throughout life. Whoever have done, they lived 30 years healthy with but still diabetes. Those who have not done, continuous fluctuations up and down, hyper, hypo, go on suffering. Same is the case of this. It is not samples we show to God or Guru कि मैंने तब कंट्रोल किया तब कंट्रोल किया. अरे अब जब यात्रा में जाते हो तब कंट्रोल तो हो ही जाता है. That is not the way. Once decided, decided once for all. And that is the golden day. And the decision taken also is not final. Execution of it, as we said in the beginning, till we die. Until we are born again. Again we are born, again take the commitment till we die. अब कब तक है? Till the Maya transcended, you discover the subtlemost Parabrahma, Ekameva Dvayam, in which there are no gross subtles, there are no cause effects, there is no creation of Dvaita, there are no any of need of the Shishna Udara. All those things जहाँ नहीं होते तब तक वहाँ पहुँचने तक इधर उधर देखोगे तो फंस जाओगे. वहाँ जाने के बाद इधर उधर होगा ही नहीं, कुछ चांस ही नहीं होगा फंसने का. रिमेंबर, फंसने का चांस नहीं होने वाला, नहीं रहने वाले स्थान में जाने तक नहीं फंसना. Like when a dirty smell is coming on road, you are traveling in a car or whatever. So till that smell zone is over, you close your nose. Once that zone is over, you smell again. Same way, till there is a zone we reach where the temptation of Shishnodara are not there, till that moment we have to curtail ourselves. Once you reach there, then there's no problem of that, therefore you need not worry. And that stage is only Aham Brahmasmi Anubhuti. Because in the Brahma, there is no Sthula. In the Sthula only, there is Deha. To the Deha only, the Shishna Udara Trishna. Any other Trishna. And this thing what we share today has to be continuously contemplated till the deep Vairagya as well as the Vairagya for all these things and commitment to know the truth are established in us. Now the connection between the earlier three mantras and this mantra is what? Earlier three mantras have inspired us. We try to walk on the path. But after traveling some path out of inspiration, then start coming the things from within our temptations for Krishna Udara because of the earlier strong vasanas. हर एक बार ऐसे ना मंदिरों में जाते ना, मंदिर दर्शन करने तक मन मंदिर में ही रहता है. But the moment mandir is over, forgotten God, he made all the bags are opened, all the snacks, everything were eaten. Means what? When he was going to God, some special force was there which suppressed his desire. Doesn't mean that they have not got eliminated. They have in the same way, when we are inspired in the sadhana, we are walking on the path. Doesn't mean that we are free from the dangers. Therefore, while starting journey only, we have to ensure that the in-between obstacles are not there. And they are all asatsanga, and those asat purushas are those who are finding trupti in Krishna Udara. And this insurance is right throughout the journey. You understood? तो कुछ लोग होते हैं घर से ले जाने आते हैं सारे खाने की चीज़ें, जब कहते हैं खरीद के ले बोलते वहाँ नहीं मिलेंगे क्या, मतलब वहाँ वो इसीलिए जा रहे. Already in the mind they decided वहाँ मैगी मिलेगा, यहाँ से नहीं ले जाना. So they are going for that only there. It is other way around. You give up here, you give up there till we reach that. So here what is said, neither from within also we should have the Shishna Udara desire. This is only 50%. The other 50 is what? We should not have the Sangha with those Asat Purushas who are trying to find Trupti in these two. Because their company will spoil us. Therefore खुद को खुद से बचाना है, खुद को बाकी से भी बचाना है. Why? Because when the outer forces are more powerful, they will not allow, they will defeat our own inner commitments or willpowers. With willpower you have committed, but if the force outside is too much, one gives it up, one yields to that. Therefore, both inner and outer cautions. From within also, they are not generated. From without also, they are not allowed to enter inside. इस तरह की तैयारी. See, the body from within also it is stronger because of good food taken, but from outside also it is having strong immunity not to allow the outer thing to influence. हमारे शरीर को रक्षा करने का यह सिस्टम हमेशा ये दोनों करता है, डिफेंडिंग फ्रॉम आउटसाइड, प्रोटेक्टिंग फ्रॉम इनसाइड. Continuously it's going on. That day when either of them become weaker, cannot protect from within or cannot defend, that day disease comes. Still again we develop the defense and protecting mechanism strongly. In the same way, Shishnodara Trupam Kvachit na Sangam Kuryat. Is that data sufficient? Only data is given. Is it collected or not? Is it valued or not? Is it taken for analysis, discussion or not? By each one of us, though I am speaking to you, whether I am taking this data for my own contemplation and helping or not is too subjective to me. And to me, I may speak this topic for 1,000 people 1,000 times. Still, it will not help me unless I myself use this topic for my own conviction. Is it not? So to the audience, everyone. These are the very sensitive things where we have to become too subjective to help ourselves. Now, first thing is Sangamna Kuryat Asatam. Clear. Its general sentence should be understood with maturity. Then a question rises, what do you mean by Asat? Take for your explanation. I'm telling you, Shishnodhara Trupa. Now, the more explanation about this, I told you already so many things. One more is what? It is the Udara, the taste. When we go for it, and when you are, listen carefully this next sentence, when you become slave to the taste, because of the slavery, variety of things we consume through the mouth as eatables, those eatables which are consumed, inherently they have the tendency to create all other negative emotions. That is why jitam sarvam jite rase. याद है आपको? When the tongue is conquered, all other 10 organs are conquered. 10 is equal to the 9 karma jnanendriyas and 1 mind. ये 10 को हम एक जीवा को कॉन्कर करने से जीत करेंगे. नहीं है एक जीवा को हार गए तो 10 से हम हार जाते. You understand? Like for the taste I go, then the eaten food, which source it has come, what are the inherent gunas in that, that will create those gunas in me. Is it not? I go for taste. You are very Shuddha Sattoguni, but you went for taste and the tasty food was something tamasic, then that food, though you are committed to Sattoguni, will helplessly create Tamoguna in you. That is the power of this rasa. जिह्वा की बात कह रहे हैं हम. So to the upastha. These jihva and upastha are such a funny things. After indulgence, they are the two ones which give such a regret to any seeming seeker, that he decides that he will not indulge in them throughout life. They're so funny. Only for again some time, again from within the temptations come. This goes on endlessly. That is why in that sloka, I don't remember it, long back somewhere it is seen. Hmm. The sloka, one and a half line I am remembering. The first line I am nefta. Ya buddhi sarvada chetsyat kona muccheta bandhanat. Means what? That buddhi which arises after doing something wrong. If that buddhi is there before doing something wrong only, will anybody do wrong? सा बुद्धि सर्वदा चेत स्यात् कौन मुच्चेत बंधनात्. वो वाली बुद्धि हमेशा और पहले ही होता, तो कौन है वो जो बंधन में फंसेगा? That first part of the line is this only. After indulging whatever the discrimination knowledge comes to us, like spices are eaten, stomach has become acidic. Then we decide I will not eat it. This I will not eat पहले ही होता, तो will not eat. Then why will the stomach will have such dukkha? It is in Subhashitas. सा बुद्धि सर्वदा चेत स्यात् को न मुच्येत बंधनात्. Who is the one who will not be freed from the bondage? Ah. Hmm. विषादान्ते भोगस्यान्ते श्मशानान्ते या बुद्धि सर्वदा चेत स्यात् को न मुच्येत बंधनात्. ऐसा कुछ श्लोक है. I'll tell you in 2 minutes. Anywhere, sometime a long time that is forgotten. But good shloka it is. At least we remembered it. Hmm. Shishnodara. See that unless we pause there and deeply contemplate giving the value or importance unbiased way, we will not understand the deep details. Without understanding them, we can never understand the honesty and kindness of the gurus when they give us these directions or suggestions or sadhanas. Then we go on blaming them only. And they also have gone through all this struggle. They were also reluctant, hesitant in the beginning. Their gurus taught them that they also had doubts in beginning, but they went through all these exercises. Then they convinced and they practiced. They got result. They are passing it on to us. Now, when we go to the Asat Purushas who are having Trupti in Shishna Udara, they won't tell that through Shishna Udara you will be denied of your spiritual sadhana. On the other hand, they justify or encourage only in this. क्योंकि उनको हमारे पास जितना लेश मात्र वेदांत स्पिरिचुअलिटी है वो उतना भी नहीं है उनके पास. We at least have a little fear to our guru that he may say something or feel bad. थोड़ा हमको है, I am sadhaka, I am studying shastra. Little bit we have, but the other fellow they don't have even this much, because they don't have this much also of that spirituality. Their words will be more stronger and convincing regarding शिष्णोधरा, जिसके बातों में बहका में आकर गिर जाएंगे हम. That is why they are called Asat Purusha. Therefore, don't have the Sangha with him, with them. Sangam na kuryad asatam chishnodara trupam kvachit. Then, yesterday we explained detailedly. Here, the Asat Sangha chishnodara trupa is not only human beings, but the places, the objects, the situations, the things, whatever they are, whichever are creating this Ishnodara Kamana in us, we have to simply avoid them. Mm. Simply avoid them. And there are some vigorous hatha yoga वाले करने वाले हठ योग वाले भयंकर जो चीज वो लोग करते हैं which can't be imagined. They cut their tongue only ताकि that will never demand no taste. अब मैं क्या बताऊं? Otherwise they know it cannot be done. You can't, you and I cannot do that. न रहेगा बस न बजेगी बांसुरी. Tapan Maharaj did the other way. He took the food given and dipped in Gangaji, all the taste offered to you. Now only will eat tasteless food only for survival of the body. That's how he controlled the tongue. Another Mahatma, what did he do? To all the tasty food, he added all the dirt and filth and then told the tongue, Ab tu kha. What are you meaning? Yeah, this food is equivalent to that only after a few hours. देखो जो खाना छाव से हम खा रहे हैं क्या बन रहा है वो 6-7 घंटे के बाद. Same filthy matter. So he added this to this and he told the tongue now of cow. This is the way they try to come out. The positive type of sadhana, these are not negative sadhana, nahi hai, they are strong. The other sweet sadhanas are what people have developed by some years of practice. The taste for the name of God. When they developed the taste for the name of the God through the tongue, then any other taste is given to the tongue. Tongue itself used to refuse. I got the taste for Rama. I don't want any other taste. पिबरे राम रसम रसने वायजु मैंने राम रतन धन पायो. अब राम रस मिला तो ये आम रस काम रस, why will I go for it? The tongue itself will reject. Like whenever you take Bhagwan's name for 10 minutes, immediately the bhoga pravritti will not come. Because by nature, Bhagwan's name is Amrita. There were so many books have come on the name of Rama Namamrita, Krishna Namamrita, Shiva Namamrita, Devi Namamrita. You understand? Amrita. And Vedantins say, they're like, Amritasya Devadharanam Bhuyasam, not Mrutasya. I'm telling you all the things. सब मिलकर पढ़ो तब जाकर strong होता है knowledge. If what is said today, if you can write down all, it can become a good thesis. Why the gurus, rishis have told us not to have the sangha with asat. Clear? Sangam na kuryata satam shishnodara trupam kvachit. If you don't listen, or if you want to know what will happen if I have that sangha with them, the next line tells कि तस्य अनुगः. अनुगः मीन्स अनुगच्छति. अनु मतलब पीछे, गच्छति मतलब जाता है. जो बंदा नहीं सुनते हुए उस शिष्णोदर त्रुपा में रहने वाले बंदों के साथ जाते हैं, तस्य अनुगः. What will happen to him? Tamasi andhe patati. He will fall into the deep darkness of ignorance. Tamasi means ignorance. Andha means darkness. He will fall and fall deeply into the well of darkness of ignorance. Now, when you patati, fallen down, tamasi andhe, so dark, you don't know where to go. That's what I gave the example of borewell boy. That is called tamasi andhe. That is what in our Karavalamba Stotra, Bhagavan tells as last but one shloka. Andhasya me hruta viveka mahadanasya choraih prabho balibir indriya namadehasya namadehi mohanda kupakore vinipatitasya lakshmi nusimha mamadehi karavalambam. Now we will analyze for not much, 2 minutes only. Tamasi ande patati. It is what we have to understand. Tasya anugaha tamasi ande patati. The next line is anda anuga andavatu. That is very easily understandable. I need not spend the time for that. Andha anugaha andavatu. Blind person anugaha and going behind anda another blind. Just like a blind one following the blind, he will also fall along with him in that ditch only. So that is no need not explain. What we have to understand is tamasi andhe pasatati. What is the meaning of tamasi andhakara? When you understand what is the meaning of in the darkness, you will understand what is the meaning of darkness of ignorance. Why the darkness is compared with ignorance. So in that andhakara, you don't know where you are. You don't know where to go. You don't know how to go. And in that andhakara, anything you do, be attentive, will create more problems only. Because it is darkness. That's what we give the other example. All lights are off and we are put in a hall and made to walk with all the obstacles there. Every moment we will hit to some table or chair whichever is kept there, ठोकर खाते ही रहेंगे. Because the andhakara. And how long? Till the light doesn't come. The moment the light comes, immediately what is where is known, then we are safe. We know where to go and how to go. But this following the blind fellow following example is such one that there is no light to be put on. It is a permanent darkness. Tamasi ande patati. Wherein every moment there is talker only, there is no coming out of that. That is the meaning. That is the explanation. That is the example given. The explanation of that is what tamasi ande patitati means. He will be always in the darkness of ignorance about all that was said in the earlier slokas. that you are a human being, you are a jiva, you are here to evolve to become one with the Brahma. For that, these are the sadhanas. To do sadhana, only the things are provided around. Other than this way, looking at the world as a means for sadhana, anyway, looking is only the wrong way of looking. It is a mithya, delusory misconception. If you follow them, you will just destroy yourself only. All this knowledge, information is selected and deleted, wiped off. That is the meaning of that ignorance. That is what the entire world is there, including us also, out of which we are little by little peeping into dark, into the light. A ray of light coming towards us. That's all. Otherwise, we are also in the tamasi andhe only, wherein we have little information only, like a ray of light coming. Neither we have got convinced, nor we are committed, nor we are thoroughly walking that path to the exclusion of everything else. Walking the path to the exclusion of everything else is like wide opening the doors for the entire sunlight to come in. What a ray is coming to us, that much हमने अपने दिमाग के खिड़की को थोड़ा खोला. उससे पहले तमसी अंधे. In the tamasi andhe, khana, pina, sona, rona, dhona, all this, shishnodara, trupa. Other than that, nothing. पढ़ाई करो, नौकरी पाओ, पैसे कमाओ, खाओ पियो, मौज करो, घूमो फिरो, लड़ाई करो, उसको रिपीट करो, इसको रुला दो, इससे फंसो, उसको फंसाओ. All this is only bondage, bondage, bondage. In that, nothing beyond is thought of. That is called a tamasi andha. The ignorance of darkness. Ignorance itself is darkness. We will be falling. What is the meaning of falling darkness? There is no light or information or even knowledge that we are born for something higher purpose. That there is something to evolve. It's just like people staying in the big the forest as tribals and all that. They are so in such an ignorance of primitive age that they don't have any of this nagarikata or what they call is culture and all that civilizations. They don't have any information of civilization. Even if civilized people go there, even though there are some places, they consider that they are enemy and they kill and eat away. In the Amazon forest, there are some tribes. They eat the human beings who go from here. Marker. Such a primitive way they are there. If you understand it, in the same way, when we follow the Shishnodara Trupa, they take us to that primitive way of life where the light of spirituality is taken as enemy only and the thought is killed. These people are going to help them only. See, last 1.5, 2 years, that struggle those people are doing. Anytime they go through helicopters or anything, they shoot the arrows to kill. वो लोग तो खाना देना चाहते. Then after lot of try, some person तो बोट पे गया, उसको मार के टुकड़े करके फेंक दिया उधर. It was such a horrible scene. It. Later on, when they started throwing the food items, slowly they first of all afraid only was गए नहीं. It is like that. The end of the world. There is a movie. The gods must be crazy movie. You might have seen it. Very interesting one. Gods must Purana wala movie. What is in the same way they were afraid. But repeatedly when they were throwing the food items, one day they took the food. Then they ate it. Slowly they have come out of that fear little bit. अब थोड़ा दूर से, not nearby, समुद्र में रहना है, बोट में रहना है, थोड़े action से some familiarity is happening. Still they are throwing some gifts to them. With who knows, again if they get a doubt, all of them come and finish them. You understand what I am explaining is tamasi andhe. They are in such a primitive age of living in their own way, never ever giving understanding about any of this civilization. In the same way, here also, kama krodha, fasevesme, shishnodara trupa. Anybody tells about spirituality, we just shoot arrow at them. That's what we are doing. We are humiliating, insulting our Guru, Shastra, our Satsanga. How do you say something so boldly? You are not attending itself is insult. Even on repeated requests of messages, thousands sent, come to the class, be regular, serious, sincere. It is like those civilized people giving the roti, etc. Le nahi rahe, primitive. And why is it happening? बिकॉज द कंपनी इन विच वी आर, शिष्णोदर त्रुप के साथ संग किया जो असत पुरुष है. And one more thought I have to add. It's already said one only, but as a concluding thought, the Shishnodara Trupa is like the opium, like all these sedatives. They give such a kind of sukha, of effortlessness, after which the dimag stops working. Then the dimag stops working, he is no more an evolving being. Evolution का sign है using the intellect. When a person is in the drinks and drugs, you see all other शिष्णोदर त्रुप वालों का उसी में मौजा मस्ती होता है, उनका वो दिमाग को मार देता है. क्यों कहते हैं आई एम सो हैप्पी इंडल्जिंग इन दैट, आई एम एंजॉयिंग इट. Nobody says you are not enjoying, but there are higher joys. For that you have to aim. For that only human life is given. These things appear to be giving joy. Later on you get addicted. There are no resources for the every body, health, everything is destroyed. That's what paschadhanta sharire rogaha yadyapi loke maranam sharanam tadapi namunchati papacharanam. All that Bhagavan Shankara in Bhaja Govindam. Now, unless each of us, what is spoken here now, that way they deeply contemplate, then the fallacies in that type of life are not understood or convinced about. Then only all our efforts, the vratas, the willpowers work to pull us completely out of them. Then only we can aim at higher spiritual evolution. That is why यदा यदा सर्वे प्रमुच्यन्ते कामायेष्य हृदि स्थिताः अथ मर्त्यो अमृतो भवति अत्र ब्रह्म समश्नुते. What is in Karnopanishad? Vihaya kamanya sarvan puman sharate nispruha nirmamo nirahankaraha. What is said in second chapter ending में? Then the third chapter ending है एवं बुद्धे परम बुद्ध्वा संस्तभ्य आत्मानम आत्मना जहि शत्रु महाबाहो कामरूपम दुरासदम. Every shastra, a topic, two topics which never be without those two topics, no shastra will be there. One about the Brahmajnana as a mukti giving, second one the कामना as the बंधन कारण. ऐसा कोई टेक्स्ट होता ही नहीं कि ये दो जो ऑपोजिट वाले नहीं बताते. That's what Bhagavan Krishna also is doing toward the end of this Mukti Skandha, because he is bent upon at least giving the full-fledged guidance to Uddhava regarding what is Bandha and what is Mukti, the sadhana. Whether Uddhava practice it or not, it is not in our hands of Krishna. It is your hands. You do it or don't do. For doing, you may invoke Krishna's blessings. He will be always around you to help you in the subtle manner. अगर नहीं मांगोगे तो हेल्प नहीं करेंगे. ये भी याद रखना. गुरु ऋषि मुनियों को आप हेल्प नहीं मांगोगे तो करेंगे नहीं, वो मांगोगे तो जरूर करेंगे. उनके हेल्प से हम इन चीजों को कांकर कर सकते. That is why Devamuni Pravarachita Kamadahana Karunakara Lingam. In the same way, Kamadi Sarpa Vrajaga Rudabhyam Viveka Vairagya Nidhi Pradabhyam. And you have to pray for it. Those people who pray to fulfill Kamana, they are all samsaris, they are the Andha. Those who are praying to free from Kamana, they are the sadhakas. Bhagavan does both. कामना पूर्ति के लिए प्रे करो तो वो करेंगे, कामना को निकालने के लिए प्रे करेगा तो वो करेंगे. You understood? You should be wise enough. It is your life finally. पहली बात तो ये है कि ये मेरी जिंदगी मुझे संवारनी है. Till this thought come, no, all these will become meaningless. Only when I know it's my life, I have to take charge and make beautiful, that all these become meaningful or valid. So, all these three shlokas are thoroughly investigated to the extent we could do. Further, left to you. You can have more data, more examples. One example, Bhagavan is going to give of this Raja Ilaputra PUROORAVA. Okay, now shloka is over. Bhagavan is telling in three shlokas about what exactly happened to Aila, the Ilaputra, later on how he came out of. That's what all great gurus, Mahatmas tell. Falling is not a problem. Falling and continue to fall is a problem. After falling, if you can rise with double the speed, that fall was worthy. And every time the Lord makes us to fall only to rise. If you can discover that, it's just like Lord Krishna put Arjuna in that such a situation. only giving a chance for Arjuna to rise. Arjuna has risen in his life in everything but except spirituality. Therefore, Bhagavan wants Arjuna to rise in that also. Therefore, he created that situation. Luckily, Arjuna used it. He used that opportunity to rise from such a giving up person. He gave up. Let Duryodhana Adi kill me with the arrow. That is suicidal. That Arjuna got up, fought the war, defeated, won, enjoyed kingdom, used Gita Jnanam, got mukti. 1 घंटे का 48 मिनट का लेक्चर भगवान का गीता का, ये सब अर्जुन को सीखना, अर्जुन ने सीख लिया. Both were such powerful there. The speaker also spoke so heavy, powerfully. The audience listener also so great. Great, great, great. Both of them were highest. Therefore, the discussion became such a great Shastra, Bhagavad Gita there. So, Samrat, Ailaha Samrat. The Samrat, Raja Chakravarti, is Ilaha Putra. His name Aila is called as Imam Gatha Magayata. This Gatha song, story he sang. Agayata. And who was this Samrat Ailaha? Bruhat Shrutaha. Sorry, Bruhat Shravaha. Bruhat Shravaha is both meanings. He himself heard so much of knowledge, yet he became slave to the Shishnora, therefore he lost everything. Obviously, you can understand. Another thing is, otherwise, he was so great in every achievement that his name and fame was famous in all the three worlds. And yet is the point in the quotes you have to listen. What is and yet to? He has got all the knowledge of all world. First point, he has done all the great works by which his name and fame spread all the three worlds, and yet is understood now. He was slave for these two. These two things of Bruhatsravatva of him is totally washed off like a beautiful monument made is washed off by one flood in few seconds only. अब जे कोई ऐसे फ्लड आता है ना, वो तबाह करने के बाद देखते रहने के अलावा कुछ कर नहीं सकते आप. अगेन टू रीमेक इट, how much time takes. Forget about remaking and taking time. The thought of remaking also will not come because you are in such a vishad. अब जी के क्या करें जब दिल ही टूट गया. That will happen in spirituality also with so much of the effort if you reach to a height. Yet compromise with Krishna Udara at any moment. The flood of that will destroy all the sadhana to such a way that again you will not even be interested to do sadhana. Then when you are not interested to sadhana, what do? You allow the Shishnodana to overpower. This is what happened to all our kings when Mughals and Britishers attacked. When they gave temptations, these fellows enjoyed. When they started enjoying, it became habit. When it became habit, they become slaves. When they became slave, they gave all the powers to these rascals. They looted everything. And they made us slaves for so many generations. Pakka typical picture what happened in our India from the time of the arrival of those people at the 12th, 13th century onwards. Dekho. Same is happening inside. Continuous invasion of these non-Hindu thoughts of Shishnodara, Trupa Ityadi and defeating us at every moment, every day. If the knowledge itself is not there that I am diseased, I have to be healthy and I have to go to doctor, I have to get treated, we will only die out of misery of the disease, suffering pain, and we die only at the end of it. In the same way, if you don't even study Shastra to know what is the problem, where is the problem, how is the problem, why is the problem, then how to solve it, then we'll only be dissolved in the problem only. इसलिए हमारा जो ABCD चैनल है, the only aim is to keep on studying the Shastra, because of which we know about the goal and the sadhana and also about the cause and the problem called as this worldliness. We also try to get convinced, we share with others, slowly we will evolve. No other job for us. This is our seva for this life. Shastra Adhyanam, Adhyapanam, Patanam, Vatanam, in which alone all these knowledges are given. This is known, therefore they are destroyed by others. कि इसका इतनी महिमा शक्ति है कि किसी ने पढ़ लिया तो हमको हाथ में नहीं आएगा वो, इसलिए देव. There's so many things. So Aila Samradimam Gatham Agaita Pruhatshravah. Okay. And what are the simple things that happen in the life of that Aila? The Aila Putra said in second line. Its elaboration are the further. Simple. Urvashi Virahat Muhyan Nirvinnaha Shoka Samyame. First he was Urvashi, caught up in her. Then he involved in her. He enjoyed it her. He indulged in her. Then he was in moha to her so much. Okay? Started involving, totally indulging, getting deluded. 50%. Second 50% is what? She started leaving him and going away. Then that moha of earlier, of indulging in her, extended to this moha in such a way that he felt he cannot live without her. The second delusion. First delusion is indulgence wala. That itself is wrong. We have to go for the Lord, nothing else. When this becomes habit, this moha, when the time of giving up it comes, you will feel it is impossible. That is second delusion. Generally, people die only out of that. But luckily, he has some spark of blessings received from the higher sources, as well as his Pura Janma, whatever samskara, that he came out of it. Therefore, the sad beginning and good end are the stories, things, the essence of the story. So, Urvashi, Bhoga, Moha. First sentence. Second is Urvashi, Viraha, Moha. And this Urvashi is such a terrible, powerful thing. It is any Trishna which is beyond limit or control. And powerful than all of them is Bhoga, Kama, the lust. Undoubtedly. Therefore, very terrible and dangerous. That is the example. That's why Lord Krishna took. But luckily, Urvashi Virahat Muhyan, that was a problematic solution. Problematic situation. Then Shoka Samyame means what? When by some or the other means, which are the means we will see, the Samyama of the Shoka happened. That मोह से जन्म हुआ शोक का जब थोड़ा घटना हुआ, कम होना, and only way the shoka gets reduced is two things. One, we don't die. Second, we give time. If you die, then you are dying in the shoka. But withholding ourselves instead of committing those suicides, give a chance or a time. The most fortunate blessing in this world by the Lord to human being is the shoka starts getting reduced. That is the most powerful gift Lord gave, along with the most powerful delusion called as this kama moha. दोनों साथ में दिया. भयंकर विष भी दिया, उस विष से बचने के लिए भयंकर अमृत भी दिया. Now this topic we'll discuss every day for 20 days now. Same chapter will go on. That I told you. That's a every day 1 or 2 श्लोक only. शोक संयम हो गया, दिमाग काम करना शुरू किया. The moment the Dimag started working out of that bittermost experience, the gems of wisdom started coming to him. And the beginning of the gems of wisdom, the soil from where all the wisdom gems came was Nirvinnaha. He became detached or dispassionate. शोक जाने कम होने के बाद, विचार शुरू होने के बाद उनको निर्वेद हुआ. From that Nirveda standpoint, when he started thinking, all the knowledge came so beautiful that he could withstand himself, he could rise above that situation, he could take up the higher goal, he reached out. Then all 3 episodes of Urvashya Virahat Muhyana and also Soka Samyama as a Nirveda. All these three topics are explained in the song sung by him, which will be after 2 3 shlokas. And we will touch upon this topic taking the ninth skanda also. वही हम relate करके हम पूरा thoroughly हम देखेंगे. So Lord is going to tell us how she was, what was she, and त्यक्त्वात्मानं व्रजन्तीं तां नग्न उन्मत्तवत् नृपः. Then vilapan anvagat jaye ghore tishteti viklavaha. These are actually censorable topics to be censored. But then Bhagavan has given, Vyasa is given, Shukadeva is given. Therefore, we will also discuss. And it is actually so. That picture sometimes, so terrible. Feel like closing eyes. But that is the only time when you open the eyes get opened. After, otherwise, the eyes will never get opened. Sometimes you have to open eye. Then only the eye gets opened. The eye of wisdom. Not otherwise. So, in short, I leave you with this thought for the day that she, like a useless blade of grass, threw him away, started going away in a moment's decision of hers without any talk or consult to him. He was thinking she is final for him, she is everything for him. He thought she is going to be permanent and all. अब जैसे देवदास की तरह सारे खुशियां आनंद आशाएं संतो everything he imagined in her, and that she ruthlessly, without in a little iota of concern also for this fellow, without even looking back, she left him and gone. Now imagine what would be the heart of that person at that time, who has every hope on her only. In this way, the solution is what? The point is what? Every bhoga this way will leave us go ruthlessly. If we are too much indulged attached, the dukkha will be unbearable. That dukkha he is explained in 3 words, leaving to us for imagining the remember. Jaye gore tishta. Jaye means in that jaya, all the words of love are added, which she used, because of which they became together. Now she's going away. The anger, vengeance, dukkha was in so much in him. All of that is put in one word, घोरे. देखो जिसको हम बहुत प्रेम करके अटैच होते हैं, when they don't reciprocate, all the prema becomes anger. Then all the loving words become bitter words. All the gifts were given, now everything is taken back. That all put in one word, घोरे. Now the slavery, the beggary, the request, the helplessness, that imagination that I can't live without you all was put in one word, tishta. Mind you, you think the Urvashi will stay there? She got an order from Indra, just pack up and come. She has better, options there. World will not wait for you. It will find a better option and goes. Remember. And that she herself says in the ninth skanda, never ever trust a woman and all, or any bhoga for that matter. They're the most unreliable. That is written. She herself says. That's what he refers also. मैंने उनके द्वारा पढ़ाए भी गया था मैं. She, beginning only she tells her, I will stay with you so long till this happens. After that, not. She was not at all dishonest. She was true to herself. But he mistook her. Therefore, he reconciles himself. Then he says he only went wrong. Then he only corrects himself. Then he rises above. That is the entire powerful story of this Pururava, which is so powerful in every sloka and the content in it that it only you have to run away from it. The only way to escape. If you don't run away and listen it with all boldness, you should definitely get the Vairagya. If you have those guts to listen every topic in this. Today we tried a little bit. Now we'll discuss in this way only. So 2 shlokas we saw today. Then Tyaktva atmanam vrajantim tam. She left him and going away. At that time, this Raja never expected she'll go away. You know in what situation he was? In Nagna Avastha. And he was taken aback, could not catch what's happening. Like a unmatta, like a pagal fellow, he started running behind her without even considering himself. He has no clothes, shouting at her, requesting her, begging her, Jaye unmatte gore tishta 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 tishta, Jaye gore tishta. You understand? This is how the meaning of what was said, Andha Anuga Andhavatu. Then we will connect, relate all of that and thoroughly study. What is the main point? The main point is not all this. Main point is we as a human being should not die without tasting the Paramatma Ananda, without enjoying the Brahma Ananda, without enjoying the Bhakti Ananda. And for that, these are the obstructions. They have to be eliminated ruthlessly. For that, ruthlessly only you have to be committed. For that, you have to understand ruthlessly the facts. If the doctor is not ruthless to say, if you smoke further, drink further, kidney, liver, all will be damaged, you will die. Please don't come to me. You stop them, you are safe. If you don't stop, also don't come to me because you need not come. If the doctor doesn't say ruthlessly, then the patient takes it for granted. So, toward the end of Mukti Skanda, Lord Krishna, if he is not ruthless in giving all detail, then Uddhava is not fully blessed by Krishna. Because this is not told, therefore something is missing. Bhagavan knows it. Therefore, he doesn't want to miss anything. He tells the important point toward the end ruthlessly. So that toward the end, this is what is taught. Whatever is said at the end, that is what people remember and go. Like every day toward the end, I do the Purnamada. That's the only thing you remember. All is gone. क्या था अच्छा था क्लास में बहुत अच्छा था क्या याद है ओम पूर्णमद पूर्ण लास्ट में वही कहा था और कोई प्रसाद इज इट नॉट डेली प्रसाद चढ़ाओ आप भोग चढ़ाओ भगवान को कीप अ फोटो ऑफ द लॉर्ड डोंट पुट योर ओन फोटो और मिरर बिकॉज आई एम नॉट सीइंग keep Lord Krishna Rama photo and put some naivedyam for it every day in the evening class and take that as prasad give to your children at home. It's a 2 minute का effort है वो. ये तो मैं पहले कह चुका हूँ 2 साल पहले. We were doing in the beginning and I can't repeat everything every time. You are so wise people. Hmm. What is further? We will see. One more shloka Bhagavan tells about him. Then he gives the mic. अबे मैं क्या बताऊँ? अय्यल महाराज तुम खुद ही बताओ. Then he says, okay, he tells his own. Like in big meetings, our chief guest is called. About him, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, the introducer will tell. Then they request him only, sir, please tell how you became so famous. Then he starts telling in 1932, I was Kabul में पैदा हुआ, मेरे पिताजी चना बेचते थे. Then he starts telling from that. Here also, mic is given to the Samrat, Ila Purusha. Ila and Buddha Putra is Pururava. Buddha is a putra of Chandrama. That all story came in 14th chapter of 9th Skandha. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namah Sri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan Ki Jai Sadgurnath Maharaj Ki Jai. Thank you. अब भैया आ जाओ रामायण पढ़ने भी.